Great day, kids! Welcome to Lesson 8. Compare and Contrast. This time, let's read a short text about oranges and bananas. Oranges and bananas have so many things in common, but they also differ in some other ways. Let's analyze first their commonalities. First, we can, in the same way, eat them. Second, of course, they are both fruits. Last, we have to peel both of them before we can finally eat. But definitely, they also differ in some other ways. First, in terms of color. Oranges are color orange, while bananas are color yellow. Second, when it comes to their shape, oranges are round. On the contrary, bananas are long. Last, oranges have seeds that we cannot eat. On the other hand, bananas have seeds that we can eat. All of the things around us can be compared and contrasted from each other. But the only important thing is that we know how to do that before engaging into any serious actions. This time, let's answer some questions related to the text or the selection that we have just read earlier. What is the topic of the selection? Well, if you answered something like oranges and bananas, then you are correct. What is the selection all about? Hmm. If you answered something like similarities and differences of oranges and bananas, well, you are correct. How do oranges and bananas differ from each other? Probably you have many answers to this. Well, in the selection, oranges and bananas differ from each other in terms of shape and color, and also something about their seeds. Number 4. How were oranges and bananas compared to each other? All right. So if you answered something related to they were compared in terms of how they are eaten, you are correct. Based on the selection, can we compare and contrast all the things around us? If your answer is yes, you are right. Yes, we can compare and contrast the things around us, but we should know how to do it properly. Let's read. We can, in the same way, eat them. They are both fruits. We have to peel both of them before we can finally eat. What did you notice in the sentences? Did you notice that the sentences tell about things or characteristics of the bananas and oranges? Mm-hmm. What were the underlined words? Right, the underlined words are in the same way and both. So what do these underlined words tell or express? Yes, so these words express similarities of oranges and bananas. So they are comparing oranges and bananas. So remember that we use both and in the same way to tell what is the same about two or more things. In other words, they are used to compare things. There are some additional signal words we use to compare, And some of the examples are also, like, as well as, similarly, the same as, just as. Let's read some more sentences taken from the selection that we just read earlier. Oranges are orange in color, while bananas are yellow. Oranges are round. On the contrary, bananas are long. Oranges have seeds that we cannot eat. On the other hand, bananas have seeds that we can eat. So, what did you notice in the sentences? So maybe you noticed that the sentences mention the characteristics of oranges and bananas. Right. But what were the underlined words? All right, so some of the underlined words were while, on the contrary, and on the other hand. So what do these underlined words express or tell us? Wow, you noticed that. So these underlined words seem to express the differences of oranges and bananas. So remember, we use while, on the contrary, and on the other hand to tell what is different about two or more things. In other words, they are used to contrast things. There are some additional signal words that we can use to contrast. Some are although, in contrast to, while, nevertheless, besides, instead, unlike, regardless, differ, less than, otherwise, instead, however, rather than, on the other hand. So now, let's try to compare and contrast. So I have here a Venn diagram. So if you notice, in the Venn diagram, there are overlapping parts. So in the overlapping parts, you have to put there the similarities. So what are alike? So that means you compare. And on the other two sides, you have their contrast. So you have to mention there the differences. So this time, try to compare and contrast your mom and dad. Okay, so you may ask help or assistance from your parents or anybody that you can ask assistance from in your home. Okay, so you can do this maybe later on. You can also compare and contrast online distance learning or ODL and MDL or modular distance learning. So let's see what are the similarities and differences of these two learning modalities. Okay, so you can do that later. You may use your pen and paper. Is it comparing or contrasting? So in this activity, I will be showing sentences and you have to tell me if it shows comparison or contrast. Raise your both thumbs up if it shows comparison and you have to show me one thumb up and one thumb down if it shows contrast. Are you ready? Number 1. Joanne's bicycle is pink, but John's is red. So, is it comparing or contrasting? Right, it shows contrast because it has the word but, which shows differences. Number 2, both Sam and Sally are friendly students. So, is it comparing or contrasting? Yeah, the clue word there is both. So that means it shows comparison. Number 3. Unlike his brother, Jesse likes going out with his friends. So, is that comparing or contrasting? So the clue word there is unlike. So that means it shows contrast. Number 4. Jimmy is a hardworking man, like his father. So, is it comparing or contrasting? Yeah, the clue word there is like. So that means it shows comparison. Number 5. Today was a terrible day. However, he tried to be happy by focusing on what he can do to make things better. So is this comparing or contrasting? You are right. The clue word is however. So this one shows contrast. Okay, so it seems you did great for the 5 items that we just had earlier. Who among you got 5 correct answers? Thumbs up, you did great. So for those who missed some items, you may review this lesson. So, see you again next class. Bye!